Hello, everybody. Welcome to another review session. This one's going to be a little bit different. We're not looking at a video today. We're going to be looking at a website, maybe two of them, maybe a couple more. We've been outgrowing the SE website over the years, and it's become more and more apparent to us as we've been working on this SE course and running into other people with expertise, people that have jobs in really important fields where they are offering their time to help us build out our platforms even more than they already are. So we're holding this session here to review the SE website, the SEI website, talk about what we like about it, what we hate about it, and all sorts of other things, including the upcoming project where we want to revisit and rebuild that website. I'm joined by some of my friends. We got Ram here out of Russia. What's up, Ram?
All right.
Thumbs up. We got Reid here, Cordial Curiosity, out of Cali. What's going on, dude? Robert out of Canada. He's the project manager for the SE course. I'm really glad that you're here today, Robert.
Thank
What's
you.
going on?
Hi.
And we got John from Quality Questions. What's up, John?
Not much, man. Just hanging out. Yeah.
Good. And joining us maybe for the first time is Ragnar, who's a very friendly face. Ragnar's been involved in the SE community for a very long time and has lots of technical skills too. So glad to have you here too, dude.
Okay. Hey.
Yeah. Well, where do we want to go with this? I know, Reid, I think you can navigate and show us the SE site. Maybe we can, just before we get to it, the site has evolved over the years, hasn't it? Trying to think of what it looked like before. We even had even the logo has changed over the years. This has really been a growing iterative process.
It was completely different.
Yeah. What did we even have? I'm trying to even think what we had way back when. How far back can you go, Reid? I'm kind of curious what it looked like, say, 5 years ago. Do you have that handy by any chance?
Yeah, let me try to just open the Wayback Machine. I'm not really familiar with Wayback Machine. Let's see. Where is that?
You may remember the original head logo for SE.
I like that head logo. That was pretty cool. Did you design that,
wow.
Ragnar, or was that somebody else? I think Ragnar had something to do with that.
I think part of it was my design and part of it was by some, I don't know who made it before me.
Okay. Now, this isn't going to look perfect on the Wayback Machine. And that's not the head that we're talking about, by the way. There was some other logo that we were using. But wow, that's pretty primitive.
That's 2017. Let's go to 2018. Loading. Just riveting content here. Oh, this is different.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the logo's in there.
There's
now.
the logo.
Can you zoom in just a bit?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of hard to see. Oh, there we go. Much better. So early on, we realized we needed to define this thing. And now that we're designing the course and we're having all these subject matter experts join and we're soliciting things from the community, we've been really fine-tuning the definition. But we don't also want to lose sight of the history of SE either. Like Ron was joking that maybe we need a museum of sorts or something to put some of the older things that were out there. Older definitions of it. I think really early on, we wanted the site to be like a portal, maybe the first place that people would go to figure out what SE is, and then maybe find communities and resources. I don't think that goal is necessarily going to go away in the new iteration.
I think a part of it was actually trying to collect the 10,000 list.
Yes.
Remember that?
At the beginning.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the primary source of the community that back then were the Facebook pages. Initially, the one Facebook page, then the multiple Facebook pages.
That's
which
right.
is where most of the community did hang out back then. But of course, that was long ago.
Long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now the
Facebook
SE
groups are still up there. So
the Facebook groups are still there, but I don't see a lot of activity on them at all. But I think that maybe that's more about Facebook than it is about SE. If you look at like the SE subreddit, there's 12,000 people who are there. What are we looking at now? Just a blank screen?
I think it's loading something.
Oh, okay.
But we can just go to the current day.
Let's take a look at the site now. It's probably worth noting that as we've been designing this SE course, we've been putting a tremendous amount of thought into what SE is and how we want to teach it. And then it dawned on us, well, if we're going to redesign the website, there probably has to be a nice relationship between the content of the SE course and the website, so that we can make the modules available, have learners be able to log in, track their progress, that type of stuff. Even when you go to the FAQ page or you want to get a definition of SE, we have that in the course. So it would kind of be weird to be able to be maintaining it in two different places. One of the challenges. So this is the current website where we've tried to make the resources and communities available to people. We recently added this calendar, which I think is a nice touch that I'd like to see in the future website. I don't like the layout of it. It's ugly, but I think it would be cool to have a page on the new website where you can go to see all the coming events that are heading our way around the world.
Yeah, I think overall this website is the best version yet.
Yeah.
It has a lot.
And I do like dark mode too. I don't know about you guys, but the dark mode looks good.
Yeah, I have dark mode. Anywhere I can turn it on.
Yeah. The SE guide is also on this page, and there's also blog posts, which as we've been developing SE further over the years, what I'm finding is these are becoming somewhat problematic. We had a couple issues where we were doing an interview with David McRaney for his podcast, and I'm pretty sure he pulled up a blog post from a couple of years ago of here are the steps of how to do SE. And while it wasn't that bad, it wasn't the most current way that we would describe necessarily doing SE. So we were kind of caught off guard a little bit when that happened. So I don't know what to do with those older blog posts and those types of things. Some of them are good, and some of them might be a little outdated.
Yeah.
Right,
So
yeah,
what are we envisioning for the new website? It's like it's all going to be based around the course. That's the main content we want to funnel people towards, right?
Yeah, because if you think about the modules in the SE course, the first module, and Robert knows this well because he's the project manager of this, it's what is street epistemology, why use street epistemology overview, and then we start getting into the things that you would need to do in order to conduct SE. But those first three modules in particular are the types of things that I would expect to see on the website. So I think we'll have to come up with some creative way of maybe presenting the bare minimum of those things, the what is SE, why use it, and the overview. But then if you want to, as a visitor of this website, you can drill down even further and then eventually find yourself being presented with the modules of the course and then opting to take them or not.
So maybe something not unlike what we have currently on the website. You have this big phrase, the world needs better conversations, which I like. Then you have a brief explanation of what epistemology is, and that a little bit more about what it is, maybe why use SE could be instead of who is SE for, which is similar. So yeah, I think this structure is pretty good. Like we're creating the funnel, right? The marketing funnel. First the simple thing, then it increases in complexity, and because I like the idea of laying out the website similar to the layout of the course, but I think we have to understand that most of the people will not go through the course, at least not right away. So you have to sell it to them first. You have to just describe what are we doing here? Who are we?
Yeah.
What's this all about?
Or even just ask ourselves who will be coming to the website. What type of person? Is it somebody who has no idea what SE is? It's somebody that participated in an SE conversation. It's going to probably be all of the above. But figuring out how to present the website that meets the greater audience, I think, is going to be a challenge.
Yeah. For me, I think that is the point of departure. That's the starting point. It starts with the audience, or audiences plural, that you're trying to reach through the website. And so with respect to a course, it's you presuppose that somebody has some awareness of SE, is interested in learning more and learning about it and learning how to do it. that is a specific objective. Whereas with a website, you may have a number of people who are just interested in knowing something about it or exploring something about it without necessarily wanting to learn something about it. So it's a broader audience with different sets of objectives, and so the website does need to address some of those broader needs as well. Somebody who doesn't necessarily want to learn how to do SE.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, somebody who's just curious, maybe a journalist or an author or a critic of it.
Or critic, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to say real quick, there was one time I was out doing my thing, like trying to get people to talk to. And I, asked someone, hey, would you mind having a, short discussion? And she immediately started questioning me, like, what are you doing? What are you about? And I handed her my card immediately and was like, hey, here's the website. You can check it out. And she on the spot pulled up her phone and like went to the website and started looking at it to like see what I was about. And the first place she went was the FAQ, like to try to figure out what it was. So I think that would be an interesting like spot to hit on, like the FAQ.
Yeah, I was actually wondering, I was actually wondering, with you being relatively new to SE, I think, did you ever find yourself going to the website and looking for resources?
Oh, yeah, all the time. And I think, one of the places I went a lot was the thing up at the top that says creators, because like I wanted to see examples of it. And so I immediately went to creators to see more video examples. Yeah.
Well, that's another thing, is that this list gets out of date. People stop uploading content or they lose interest in SE or whatever. Your channel isn't on here, I don't think. And by the way, adding, not yet, but even like the process of adding your channel is so convoluted. One of us would need to spend probably an hour going through Firebase and making sure we didn't screw anything up and making these changes. So that's the other thing, is we probably want to make sure that on the back end, we can easily edit this thing and keep it up to date so it's somewhat fresh as people come and go, content creators and so forth.
Yeah.
I've been in the field a couple times though, where somebody said, well, yeah, let me look this up too. And then they look at the website and I'm always kind of like cringing, like, oh, I wonder, will they find a blog post that is problematic, or, I kind of wonder about that. Oh yeah, here's the other thing, is that we actually have two websites. We have streetepistemology.com and then streetepistemologyinternational.org, which we were thinking from a management perspective, well, why don't we just combine the two? Personally, I think that's a good idea, but I'm wondering if a case could be made for keeping them separate.
Yeah, there's a distinct set of communications that you want to talk about it from a standpoint of corporate information that is really distinct. You can make a clear distinction between one and the other. So it is possible to have the two sites with different objectives.
We need to add Janosch here and ROM as provisional.
Yeah.
Should we add provisional people? Probably.
I don't know. We'll have to talk about that.
Maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not. So yeah, this is the SEI website, and this is where we basically ask people, if they want to donate and support us, they can find out about the board, they can get our tax ID number, they can see the monthly posts that I make. But that's pretty much all the site functions as. So my sense is that we can easily just create a page on the SE website and get rid of this one and then just redirect from the .org to the .com.
Yeah, this website looks like an imitation of Patreon page without any Patreon features.
Well, it's the same graphic. That header graphic, I think, is the exact same one that we have on the Patreon. Yeah.
Do you want to put the donations, like gathering info, to the main website? That would probably get a lot more traffic then.
It would get more traffic, but I also don't want people to be hit up right away. Like I don't want people to go to streetepistemology.com and then the first thing that they're presented with is donate to us. But I also don't want to make it hard. I also don't want to make it hard to find either.
Yeah, not the first.
Yeah.
So we can see that there are essentially multiple audiences here. People who are interested in SE possibly as a donor base, or interested in it from a corporate perspective, a marketing perspective. Then you have the other constellation, which would be the SE community itself, which is support to people who are practicing SE or trying to expand their knowledge of SE, and then to the newbie component, which is people who have complete very basic needs for understanding what SE is. So they're distinct objectives, and so you can take the same content and then adapt it for the individual audiences.
Yeah. There's also some dynamic stuff going on too. Like, two things come to mind. We're constantly, it seems, adding videos to the SE latest releases playlist. So anytime we discover a video about SE, we try to add it to that playlist. But that playlist is not readily visible from the SE website. Maybe it should be. The other cool thing, the gentleman that's helping us do the redesign pointed this out. Who's that? Is that you, Reid? Wow.
Not me.
Okay.
Not me.
Mute your microphones, guys, if you can. Okay, there we go. What was I saying? Oh, the guy helping us with the redesign mentioned that the diversity of people interested in SE is in and of itself perhaps something that we might want to call attention to. So like on the SE Discord, we have that one channel, Introduce Yourself. Every day, there's usually 2 or 3 people that do so. And it's fascinating to see where they're coming from and how they found SE. I'm wondering if there might be a way to represent that on the website somehow, almost as like a real-time glance at who's coming into the community, at least on the Discord.
Not sure we need it on the website, to be honest.
You don't think so? I think it'd be cool to have.
At least usually when I go to a website, I don't expect this. Reviews is one thing.
Yeah, reviews and endorsements, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
Reviews and endorsements.
Right. So people's opinion about Reid epistemology could be a good thing.
Oh, yeah? Like some authors or something like that?
Especially if they are famous, yes.
So on the website, you would see, like on the front page, you would see, like, okay, what Elon Musk think
Right.
of this. Like,
Yes, right.
how has it been useful to?
He hasn't replied to my emails. I don't understand why.
Yeah.
10.
So one of the other things to think about is the website is as a hub and spoke model, which is that the website is the sort of the anchor point, and the spokes of the hub go out to all various social media platforms, and so Twitter, Reddit, YouTube, all the other social media platforms should have an ability to point back to the website as your home base, and interconnect to it. And the idea of the context of the website in relation to all the other social media platforms is something to take into account for sure.
That's kind of how it is now, but it's not really that clear, maybe, that there's those relationships between those other platforms. I'm not sure. Well,
Yeah, I know that certainly that's what many corporations do. They see it that way. Others focus certain social media platforms as their home base, and then that the website merely points them to that. So, yeah.
Where would the course fit into this model?
I think the course should be the front door, point of entry for people to find the course.
The website, you mean?
Yeah.
The website would be the...
Yeah, so the website is the front door entry, and then into, okay, I really want to learn this now, and then they can get to the course from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be a big button somewhere.
Right. Yeah, the other thing we talked about was developing resources for instructor-led materials so that people who would be interested in giving a presentation, a workshop, maybe even becoming a consultant in SE, developing materials, and maybe even a certification program of some sort. So I think the website that we end up building needs to be far more robust than what we have. We probably need to have the ability to create an account so that if you could become a learner and go through the course and track your progress, or if you want to opt to be certified in SE or something like that in order to teach it. I mean, anyone could do it, but if you wanted to get perhaps certified by the nonprofit, maybe there's some sort of process. That way we're kind of protecting the brand a little bit so that there's some sort of barrier. I don't know, it doesn't have to be that huge, but something that says, I did a few things before, I'm now certified to teach this stuff to other people.
Right.
Yeah, I certainly know I certainly know that up in Canada, or for organizations to maintain their charitable status as an educational organization, you need to be able to demonstrate that you have the tools and infrastructure necessary to pursue and execute that objective of providing education. And so obviously not only having a course, but having all of the other learning management infrastructure is absolutely core to pursuing that mandate and demonstrating that you are pursuing that mandate.
Yeah, and we are designated as a charitable or educational nonprofit organization, a 501c3. So yeah, that's why I think like the redesign of the website is going to be crucial to the growth of SE going forward. If we're going to really be serious about this and develop good materials and encourage people to teach it around the world, then we need to have a robust back end to build that. Did you want to say something, John?
Yeah, sorry, I think I was muted earlier. I was just saying, like, when you were saying the certification, like the nonprofit could say, you have our blessing to like go out and like do this sort of thing. Like it would be a sort of, yeah.
Yeah, SEI certified for whatever that means, you know, and
Yeah.
but anyone could learn SE and teach it. But if you wanted to be able to say that, you know, you were certified or you've completed some sort of, you've met some sort of standard in order to be able to do it, then I think we need to manage that. That would need to be managed.
So basically, we definitely want to adapt the website for different kinds of audiences. My understanding is that some people who want to find materials to how to teach SE better, some people who are new to SE, some people who want to find YouTube channels. But I'm guessing that when we ask ourselves which audience the website should be primarily adapted for, I would say the answer should be simple: people who are new to SE, people who just don't know almost anything about it, or who have just been directed, look at this is cool, and that's it.
Yeah.
So just from scratch.
Yeah. Initially though, like that's the initial audience, like maybe for the website. But if you were more practiced in it, like John, for example, or Reid or whatever, like there should be a way to drill down and get more information, you know, get deeper and deeper into it, probably through the website, but not
Sure. In the
overwhelmed
menu,
with it.
yeah. Different segments of the website should be accountable for that.
Right.
Okay.
And we're also, you know, we have this project of creating the new website. Want to talk about the various roles that we're trying to find?
Yeah, we're shooting for the moon here, aren't we? Can you zoom just a little bit on that? So we've met twice. We've met once. We have our second meeting tomorrow at 1 p.m. U.S. Central Time on the SE Discord server. You can find a link to that on the current SE website under Communities, I think, and you can join us if you're interested. This gives you a sense of some of the considerations for the new site. These are some of the things that we'd like to see in the new site. And then if you scroll down a little bit, Reid, you can see the roles that we want to have fulfilled. And there's quite a few of them. We got some pushback on Reddit, like you're asking for too much. What are you guys thinking? We're shooting for the moon. We've identified everything that we would like to have. If we can find volunteers to cover all these roles, it would be great. There's a list of the project roles: project manager, front-end developers, back-end developers, UI, UX designers, testers, content authors and creators, content editors, a translation team, because this is an international thing. We want to be able to take the website, and if you're in France, we want to have the website render in French, for example. A business analyst, a solutions architect, content auditors, art team, a developer operations, DevOps, and a content manager, content management system. That's the part that's really exciting to us, being involved in the SE course. We want to take all the content that we're creating for the course and stick it into buckets so that it could be presented to the learner in a really great way. So lots of roles here to be filled.
Yeah, so if you're interested, definitely come check this out. I put a link to it in the description. And we are going to have another meeting on Discord tomorrow morning for me. And yeah, we'd love to see you there to chat about it.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, good. You have it there too. We had one session. Was it Monday of this week? It's kind of a blur now. We did one session, and we had a few people show up, but not many people interested in actually joining the team. So we're hurting for volunteers. We won't be able to do the website redesign probably unless we have a few more volunteers offer to help us. It could take several months to complete. It probably won't be an easy thing. The volunteers will probably be expected to cover multiple roles too, if you're able to do so. Ragnar, was there one role that you were interested in possibly helping out with? I think there was. Was it the front end?
I'm professionally, I'm a senior front-end developer, so I might be able to help with that.
Excellent.
So that's UI UXT role, right?
Front-end developer.
Front end, okay.
Yeah. What else? Anything else about the website? What do we do with all that old stuff? What do we do with those blog posts? What do we do with the SE guide? Some of the stuff that's a little bit out of date.
Yeah, let's discuss it.
Yeah.
First idea that I have is to just separate the new official course and make this the rest of the materials less official. Let's say it's just different people were writing different stuff, and we're just keeping it. So feel free to write. Feel free to read. I mean, or to write anything, and we can post it as well. So like official materials and unofficial fan-based materials.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. And then maybe when you go to these pages, it will be still clear that you're on, I don't know, fan-provided content as opposed to official SEI provided stuff, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm
Maybe something
moving
to-
all of it, just having the course content, because it's more up to date and more thought through.
Well, the SE course content it's been more thought through. We've spent hours and hours and hours working on it. We've been working on it for a year. We're on the cusp of releasing modules 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, 5, 6, 7 in the next few months. Hopefully, we'll see. That's our goal. But we have
a funny guy.
There's like 22. Well, there's 22 modules out there, so there's a lot of content. And the other cool thing about the course is that there's a help desk component to it, so that as people go through the course, and if they get stuck, we want them to be able to reach out to volunteers that can help them get unstuck. But we also want to capture that. Oh, I hear that rumbling again. Okay. We also want to capture where they're getting stuck so that we can make additions to the course to correct for it. Which means that the course will always be the most up-to-date stuff that we present to the public. And we also want to have that reflected on the website.
Yeah, that said, the course, although it'll be sort of definitive in terms of the quality of the information, we recognize that people have multiple ways of learning and exposing and becoming aware of SE. Of course, the main way up to this point has been exposure through existing examples in SE review shows and whatnot. That's the primary channel by which people have learned and found out more about SE. So the course will need to be complemented by other ways in which people can learn, such as and introduced through the website. and the other content creators, etc. So yeah, it's a kind of an environment which can meet different needs at different points in their learning of SE.
I agree. Yeah, it might be a different kind of content. I agree that the course will be the most finalized and up-to-date version of the educational material about what SE is and how to use it. But for example, if we take the current blog posts, we will find some materials there that will not be part of the course. Like, for example, one person is sharing their experience with using SE on the website Omegle.
Omegle.
Omegle, yeah.
Omegle, yeah.
Or I wrote an article about about our experience of running the offline SE local-based practice session meetups. So yeah, different kinds of stuff, and also what we've already discussed, like if Elon Musk or someone like anyone would like to share their experience of using SE, it's not the same as just the course. People can just share their experience. I used it and it was great, so I recommend it. And it also could be a separate section of materials.
Testimonials.
Yeah.
Or like community-based materials or something.
Community-based materials.
Yeah. The ethos of SE being open source, it continues to this day from its earliest inception, and so having this open door, full community participation approach is something that is intrinsic to the SE community as a whole. So you want to promote and encourage that through the website as well.
That reminds me, somebody messaged or emailed a presentation that they gave a few months ago to us to put on that public drive that we have for SE, and a bunch of slides and things. So I don't know what we should do with those. That might be something we want to make available too. Like, so there are resources provided by the nonprofit, and then there are resources provided by fans, perhaps, and sort of partitioning those off somehow. So we don't ever lose sight of that, because that's what I think keeps SE fresh, is people taking the concepts, using them, developing them further, and then hopefully circling them back into the community to the point where we can notice it, and then also try to reflect that into what we're creating too.
Yeah,
cool.
And it's not just a top-down and different languages. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Cool.
Like, yeah, I could just upload a couple of presentations in Russian, for example, and someone might pick it up and use it.
For sure.
So are we talking then about the same site in multiple, kind of copied into multiple languages, or as one site, or as a bunch of parallel sites that are each structured by different language that may have slightly different content? How do we?
I would think that having separate websites in separate different languages would be too much for us to aim. I think it could be one website. It's in English, but you can have just a section for German language materials.
I don't know if it's possible, but could it be a thing where like it uses your IP to figure out where you are, maybe what the language, the official language of your country is, and tries to use that? Is that a thing that could happen?
Yeah, that's possible. And that would be ideal, probably, right? To just pick a language and have the same materials in your own language. But yeah, we should start somewhere and then think about that.
Yeah, maybe just identify, well, English, of course, and maybe 2 or 3 other languages, maybe from the start, or try to at least build it with the idea of having translation. So either it's auto-detected, or you could just go to the website and select your language, and then everything changes, most everything.
Yeah, I think usually it's done in a way that it kind of detects your system language and kind of based on that one select.
And oftentimes the browser, if in a Chrome browser or Google, will say, "Do you want to see a translation of this page?" And it will auto translate it in the way that it can, to the extent that it can, and you get something which is translated. Eventually, over time, that will get perfected, more than it is today. But yeah, that's going forward. How oftentimes people can see foreign language sites.
Sometimes I struggle with turning the auto translation off. Like, hey guys, I know English. Just please don't translate this.
Really?
Why? Where do I turn it off? Yeah.
That's funny. What else needs to be covered here? So integrating the sites, the content management system part of it is really the biggest development going forward, I think, because it's going to take that stuff that we're writing for the course and be used through the website and so much further. So that's going to be good.
With the course, are there going to be like added video materials to that? Because currently it seems like it's text, right?
It's all text at this point. Now we're going to have illustrations. So there will be illustrations for the course, more than likely. We'll be discussing that at our next board meeting. And we may be able to repurpose some of those illustrations for the website, or maybe have a completely different artist do illustrations for the website, or something along those lines. But no videos at this moment. We found it a lot easier just to write scenarios for the course using text, as opposed to trying to find a video that came close to helping to explain what it is we were teaching. And that's the challenge with video, is like you might get a little sliver of what it was you wanted to teach, but it's just so much easier just to write a custom dialogue to hit all those points. So for the moment, that's what we're doing. But yeah, future state would be awesome.
Now that we're bringing it up, I thought that maybe we will want to have a promo video for the course. Not teaching SE, but just promoting this course. Like, hey guys, here's how you use it, and it's cool, and stuff like that.
We did talk about a promo video for people who arrived at the website. This was sort of pre-course idea.
Mm.
People arrived to the SE website. There'd be a little video that maybe would be ready to play, like, hey, here's what SE is about. And it just maybe 1 minute long, animated type of thing. We put that on the back burner when we started getting involved in the course. And then, of course, now that we're thinking about rebuilding the whole website, we're reconsidering how we want to do that. It might be a little bit out of date to do something like that. It's challenging. But we need volunteers to help us out with this thing. So if you're technically minded, or if you have project management experience and have, in any case, if you can dedicate a significant amount of time to this project, I'm thinking maybe 5 to 10 hours a week for the next 3 to 6 months, more than likely, for many of the roles. Not all the roles are from cradle to grave. Yeah, there would be some roles that come on later on in the project, that type of thing. But if you want to learn more about it and talk to the team that's involved in this project, we're meeting tomorrow at 1:00 U.S. Central Time on the SE Discord. And we'll put a link to that. We'll put an invitation link to the SE Discord if you're not there. There's a channel called SE Website where we'll be hanging out. Okay. Anything else about the website, or what you want to see, or what you don't like?
Well, we can click on some links on the website and discuss it a little bit. Or just discuss the overall impression that we have.
Of the current website?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Start at the top, maybe, huh?
Didn't we go through it?
Maybe we don't need to discuss it.
Well, Reid was navigating it as we were talking. We didn't really get into specifics.
Two other considerations that I'll raise, because it has to do with the development of any website, has to do with search engine optimization. So to make your site findable for people who are interested in, but not necessarily searching on the term street epistemology, should be able to nonetheless find the SE site through proper SEO. So that you need somebody who has, or somebody would volunteer that has a marketing or advertising or promotional background or knowledge in how to use search engine optimization to make the site findable. That's one thing I was thinking about. And the other has to do with content management. We're talking about various content types, graphics, text, and possibly video. We now need to think about rights, copyright on an international scale, and the ability to repurpose materials not produced by SEI, and in terms of permissions, etc. So that in and of itself requires a fairly robust knowledge of not only a content management system, but the various rights and legalities and the implications and permissions required. So that's all kind of back-end management stuff associated with the website and its operation, but it needs to be taken into consideration right from the design stage.
Oh, and another thing that I just remembered is that the EU has quite strict laws about people, like the right to be forgotten. Basically, is one of those.
Storing
there
data,
needs to be a way
encryption.
to.
Yeah, we'll design the website to the highest standard, even though the U.S. isn't maybe necessarily up as strict. I think we should go to the highest standard for sure. Do you think the SE course materials should be crawlable by search engines and therefore show up as results? I mean, we have a hell of a lot of content there. That might be, I'm wondering if somebody was Googling some of the terms that were actually in the SE course, if that would be a way for them to find SE. They could back into SE from searching for those terms, how to have better conversations, or how do I build rapport, or something like that.
Well, yeah, that's how it works, but it depends on how competitive those search engine entries are,
Right.
and how optimized the different websites are for them.
Mm-hmm.
So basically what we're saying is that if you want to help us with anything that falls under your area of expertise that would be useful, just reach out.
Okay, cool. Well, that's about it, I think, unless you guys have anything else you want to add.
I was going to say, I don't know if this is useful, but would it be a good thing for if somebody were looking at a particular topic that SE discusses a lot, like if somebody were looking for God or karma or things like that, and they searched those terms, would we want to try to lead them to the SE website? Like, is that a good thing to do?
Probably not, and also it would be difficult to optimize the website for that, because to a search engine optimize the website, you need to put a lot of entries, and you need to put it into some tags, and probably we will not want that.
Yeah, at the moment, people are finding SE like they overheard an interview, or maybe in the future they'll read a book. Like there's a book coming up by David McRaney where. And I asked him before this episode if I can share this, but he allowed Reid and I to look at the manuscript of his upcoming book, How Minds Change. And he has a whole chapter on street epistemology. So there will be people who will be coming to, or at least searching for SE because they saw it in a book or heard it on a podcast. That's probably it's probably just word of mouth or stumbling across it or maybe catching a video. Those seem to be the main ways people are finding SE. But maybe in the future, there could be a promotional component to it or a marketing component. We have this wonderful course for having these better dialogues. And the promotion of the course could actually drive people more to the website.
Yeah, like the world seems like very polarized. So you can use SE to kind of navigate that in a sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so Christopher in the chat says...
all of this.
Yeah, I'd love to volunteer. So we're having a Discord hangout tomorrow. Feel free to hang out or email us, contact@streetepistemology.com.
Yep, that's our email. Feel free to email us if you can't attend. We'll do an interview with any of the volunteers. Any of the roles that we can't find volunteers for, we'll probably outsource and have to pay for. So if you don't have technical skills, but you love what we're doing with SE and you want to make a donation, this is the time. The course and the website are the two biggest projects that are facing us at the moment, with a hopeful third one on the horizon of actually testing SE in some type of scientific way to see what's really happening. Is it effective? What's occurring in the brain? These are the big three things that myself as the executive director and also the people on the board, these are the three biggest goals I think that are on our horizon. And these are the two of the three. And I don't know if we can get interest in actually studying SE until we get people's attention and show what's happening from these videos and in the courses.
Regarding the email, Reid, can people find it somewhere and copy it? Like, where should they go? Like, Discord is one way
I
to
have
go.
a link in the description
Okay.
to the Patreon post, and you can find it there. Links there.
All right, awesome.
Yeah, just email us.
Links in the description.
We'll get you hooked up. You don't have to be technically or you don't have to be familiar with SE, but I would say that that's a plus. Like if you have understanding of what SE is and you also have these technical skills, that's great. We don't care where you stand on any issue. You could be a theist, you can be an atheist. None of that stuff matters. We're looking for people with skills that want to help us build something that can get SE into the future.
And to underscore, it's going to be fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
There'll be lots of laughs and there'll probably be lots of tears too. But we do try to make our projects fun. Christopher was asking what time the meeting is. It's tomorrow. It's on US Wednesday at 1 p.m. US Central Time.
So noon Mountain Time.
So if people go to the Discord server, should they go to the announcement channel? Or where should they go there?
I would recommend going to the SE-website channel and just say, hey, I heard about the website project. I'm interested. There's also the introduce yourself. So if you're also new to the Discord, that would be a good place to mention it too. But we'll be looking out for you to direct you to. Okay, cool. You guys want to close on what projects you're working on? I've got a shitload of stuff coming up that I wanted to plug real quick, but you guys have anything you want to talk about?
Just the usual, lots of backlog of conversations. I've been uploading just the raw wide shot of all of my IRL chats just to get them up there. But if something is particularly good, I'll make a good edited video for my main channel and have a bunch lined up. And so stay tuned for that.
Cool. How about you, John? What do you got going on?
I mean, I'm still going out having conversations with people and trying to upload the good, interesting ones. So if you want to check out my channel, that's cool. Quality questions.
Nice. Ram, are you doing any more? You're holding sessions on the Discord, aren't you? Still practice sessions and such.
Yeah. I'm doing epistemology all the time, but I'm just not recording it somehow. Probably I should start doing it again sometime.
Yeah. Is there a way to record those sessions, those practice sessions on the Discord, or it's sort of expected that you wouldn't do it?
Well, yeah, it's technically possible, of course, possible, but just for confidentiality reasons, we usually don't.
Yeah. All right. Ragnar, Robert, what do you guys got going on? Anything you want to share?
Most of my time goes to Discord, so that's
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just helping out on the project for the course.
Robert's doing a great job as a project manager on the course. So on the 30th of this month, I'm giving a presentation to the Dutch Skeptic Society. It's going to be half in person and half on Zoom. So I think if you just Google Dutch Skeptic Society Street Epistemology, you should be able to find information. There should also be a calendar entry, or there soon will be, with a link to the Zoom. And then on November 19th through the 21st, the Faithless Forum is in Austin. And I'll probably be giving a workshop with Dan, Objectively Dan, the guy that I met on campus and talked to, and now he runs this show called Truth Wanted. So he and I will be giving a workshop at that convention. And then I'll be on his show, Truth Wanted, on December 9th. So that should be fun. And then I've got a trip coming up to Utah. I was invited to speak to Mormon Stories podcast. Apparently they've been mentioning SE quite a bit recently, and then they invited me. We've been trying to coordinate a trip for the longest time. So I'll be heading to Utah to hang out with them for a little bit in mid-November. But then after that, I don't want to do much more travel or talks or anything, really. Unless it's like a really big deal, I'm going to probably try to reserve my talks and trips in 2022 so I could focus on getting this damn course done and this website and maybe starting a book at some point. Yeah. Okay.
If you need anybody to proofread a book, like I would be absolutely down for that.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I appreciate that. Thank you.
I think people are missing that where that park is that you record your videos in, Anthony. People are very familiar with a piece of the park.
The park.
Yes.
Actually, I kind of feel bad that I'm not uploading videos anymore. I kind of mixed on it. Like, part of me wants to go out and record more talks or edit the videos that I've recorded, but I don't think 10 more videos are going to make much of a difference. I think this is where my focus needs to be, and I'm becoming more and more content with that. Even though I sometimes feel anxious and like I should be recording content, and I should be editing, and I should be putting stuff out. I think this is the best use of my time for SE.
Maybe review videos of your past videos on your channel. That'd be great.
I'd love to do that. Yeah. Actually, I'm not sure what I should do with my YouTube channel. Should I be doing review videos of like John's content and your content, Reid? Or I'm not exactly sure how I want to utilize that channel. Okay, something to think about. Okay,
I
that's it.
I think we should be reviewing more non-SC videos too.
True.
In terms of SC, but it's just difficult to find videos that would be good for it. But if you have some, just please send it to us. And
Yeah, it could even be a bad conversation, like maybe it's the debate, like Anna Kasparian and Ben Shapiro. I haven't watched it yet, but like, wouldn't that be cool to take a couple of clips and talk about how that could have gone better?
Let's do it.
Yeah, we should absolutely do that. So watch for that, I guess. That's what we're talking about. Yeah, and those aren't that hard to do, those review videos. We've been trying to do those once a week here and put them on this channel.
Post suggestions in the comments.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, guys. All right, thanks for doing that. Appreciate it. And we'll hopefully see volunteers tomorrow at our website design meeting number 2, 1 p.m. US Central.